going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the German Bear Podcast. And today we want to take a look at Nate Davis' preseason performance in Week 2 of the 2024 preseason against the Cincinnati Bengals and talk about, did it really look as bad as it looked during the game live? And yes, guys, today is all about Nate Davis and his preseason performance against the Bengals. I did a deep dive for myself into the All-22 and what he was able to do in the pass game and in the run game, and especially also took a deeper look and meaning into things that he was not able to do, because a lot of people were upset with his performance in the preseason, but I can take that away right away. I don't think he did a bad job. I know there was a couple of plays that we will get to today, but I think overall this was a game that gave me a lot more confidence actually going into the season, and I'll explain that later as we go into today's All-22 Film Room episode. But what is the situation with Nate Davis first and foremost before we want to dive into that? Injuries throughout the last years and early camp especially have hindered him so far in his Bears career. Last year's first season with the Bears, he had a couple of issues, and then he did not participate a lot in training camp this year, so a lot of people got concerned, and so did I. And after last year's performance, honestly, I was pretty let down by his performance, because when I looked at his tape from the Titans, he looked like a really good addition to the Bears for the interior of the offensive line, and he disappointed me last year. He did not look good for the Bears. He looked sloppy. He looked like he didn't want to play, and it was just a little strange to see him on the field, and he did not perform the level I expected him to do. So today will be all about him, but the current O-line situation, my thoughts on the entire game for the starters against the Bengals, because that's the last time we saw it. And even though in yesterday's game we saw the Bears beat the Chiefs, so there's going to be a couple of film breakdowns from that game too, so stay tuned for that. But I think Darnell Wright and Tevin Jenkins, both for me, are pluses. I think they had really good games and showed out and just did what they consistently are going to do over the season, being good offensive linemen. I think those are the two best guys that we have. Then I have Braxton Jones as an iffy one. He had a couple of solid plays, but also got beat badly on a couple of plays against backups, where I'm thinking, why is that happening now, Braxton Jones? You're the blind side protector for Caleb Williams, so I hope that gets better. And then Coleman Shelton is a plus-minus to me. He played solid, and pass pro struggled a little bit in the run game, but overall had a solid performance. I do not think he had a bad game. And then we have Nate Davis. Right, Nate Davis was a big question mark going into this film room, because I had a bad feeling watching live, but as I said, after the film room episode and the conclusion, we'll talk about what the actual feeling for me now is with Nate Davis and what I think going into the regular season with him very much probably being the starter for the Chicago Bears. So with that being said, let's not waste any more time and get right into it and start off with the film room and get going with the pass protection. And to get the devil out of the way right away, let's look at the given up sack, one of the plays that definitely made me think about why is Nate Davis not practicing, and it's obvious why he's doing so bad. This is a play against Chris Jenkins, a second-round pick from this year, so pretty good competition from Michigan. He's was one of the most powerful defensive linemen coming out of this draft, and is still one of the most talented ones. So Bengals got a good one here with Chris Jenkins, but he gets beat badly here on a spin move, and I think the biggest issue here is just really bad placement here of his hands from Nate Davis, and he leans forward as well, which led to that bad look here on this play. And obviously giving up a sack is never good, even though I think on this play, I also did a film breakdown of this game for Caleb. I think Caleb could have gotten rid of the ball here and had enough time, and he had actually a touchdown up to Dante Pettis, but still Nate Davis got beat here, and it's undeniable. So obviously a bad look here for Nate Davis early in this game, but it was very important to me to see how did he actually respond. And there's actually a couple more plays against Chris Jenkins where you can see the total opposite outcome of those two battling, and there's two plays specifically where it makes a huge difference, and it gives me a lot lot of hope for the upcoming season, actually, because you can see really good hand placement now on the other hand. Unlike the play where he gave up the sack, he has actually great hand placement here, is readjusting with great footwork and good base, and is hand fighting to regain the superior position here on this play. You can see his anchor against the powerful Jenkins, really just locking his hips and locking him out. And as I said, look at the feet and the base. Not sloppy at all. He looks quick and can mirror his pass rush opponent. I think that was really two good plays that showcased, hey, it was one bad look, but I got your back now, Caleb, and I'm going to protect you. And he definitely did on those plays. And then also another look I want to just pick out here of his plays against the Bengals was a play action play where the Bears did a wide split zone play action, and you really need for a good sell to still reach that one technique, which is definitely not easy in that case because he definitely has a leverage advantage on that play, so it's not easy for him to get over there. And on that play, I think you can really see the explosiveness and quickness that I was missing last year off the line. And then we have all day to throw for Caleb Williams. So on that play action play, obviously he gets help, but it was good for me to see him moving well after battling injuries throughout training camp and just looking healthy overall, which was the biggest thing for me going into this film room. And I think overall for the pass protection, as a couple of more clips will roll in the background, besides a sack, he looked dominant all game long. And obviously this is what you expect from a starter against backups in preseason, and he delivered in pass pro, right? At least he delivered for all the other plays. I think he did a pretty good job, and he looked really agile. Now, moving on into the run game, talking about agility and just dominating an opponent, there's one great run play I want to highlight here, which was an inside zone against an over front to the strong side from the Bengals, and he's facing a 3 technique here. So right here, he has a leverage advantage because we're going inside zone left, so it should be easy for him to reach him, and he's a good position to start it off with. And then we're playing a double team here with Darnell Wright to the Mike linebacker, who Darnell Wright unfortunately doesn't get to, which would have cost maybe a little bit more yards if he did so. But I mean, for Nate Davis here on that play, hand placement was really good again. You see the drive and power that he had on that play, and then he finishes the block, just putting the dude on the ground and overpowering him here. So I really like the effort on this one. And overall for the run game, as you'll see again, a couple of plays rolling in the background, solid day in the run game too, just like in the pass pro. Really powerful. He was moving well and showed a lot of effort, which was also something I was missing last year. Just the true power that he wanted to put on display in football and just let a little bit of hate out on the football field. You could definitely see that this game, and it was great seeing him getting his hunger back and just wanting to prove everybody wrong. That's the mindset we need for him to protect our #1 overall diamond quarterback in Caleb. So overall for the game, was it perfect? No, definitely not. Also not in the run game. There was a missed kick-out block on the power left that he should have gotten. Those are things that he has to clean up, but I mean, there's still time left for him to fix everything and even get more back into his Titans shape, which I hope he gets into for week 1 against the Titans, ironically. But yeah, overall, I think I gained back a little bit of confidence watching this tape and those 22 snaps of Nate Davis against the Bengals. He looked healthy, which was the biggest takeaway for me personally from watching his film. No matter the competition, that's something you can take out of preseason. How was the guy moving? How was he showcasing his power against weaker competition? And he definitely did that. He was moving well, looked agile, looked quick. And with a guy that was struggling with a lot of injuries and also throughout training camp so far, it didn't look healthy. It's good to see him healthy on the field, playing football and just giving it his all in this preseason game, which a lot of players probably take snaps off with. So I think Nate Davis is going to have a pretty solid start to the season. Obviously, that's not saying anything. In that regard, he's going to face a lot better players and higher competition in the regular season, but it gave me a lot of more confidence going into the season. As I said, doesn't mean he's going to be great, but that's something I will definitely monitor throughout the year and take a look at. But as I said, he looked healthy. That was a big thing for me, and I hope he can back to his old shape that he was before he went to the Bears and just can have a great comeback season. I really wish it for him and for Caleb Williams and all of us Bears fans. But with that being said, that's the end of today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what you thought of Nate Davis' performance before you watched today's episode, and then after you saw it, do you still feel like the same, that he didn't do good, or do you, just as me, gained a little bit more confidence, which I hope I could instill that a little bit into any Bears fan right here. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. Check out Instagram and Twitter if you want to as well. And as always, guys, bear down.